None of us like difficulties. If we had a choice, we wouldn't go through them. But those challenges not only prepared you for your future, but now you have a history with God. When you look back over your life, some of the things you faced at the time, you didn't think you could make it through. The obstacle was so large. The breakup hurt you so badly. The medical report was so negative. You didn't see a way, but God turned it around. He gave you strength when you didn't think you could go on. He brought the right person when you thought you'd always be lonely. He promoted you, gave you that good break. Things fell into place. Now you're further along than you ever imagined. When you're in a tough time, you don't see a way out. Instead of being discouraged, negative, you can go back and remember how God turned your health around. Remember how He gave you that baby when the specialist said you couldn't have a child. Remember how He brought you out of that trouble that you got yourself in. When you remember how God has protected you, promoted you, healed you, restored you, faith will rise in your heart. Instead of thinking, I'll never get out of this problem, you'll know God did it for me once, He'll do it for me again. Don't complain about the problem. It's not random. You're going to need that victory in the future. God is taking you from glory to glory. When you come through this challenge, that victory will be the fuel you use that gets you to the next level of glory. When you face tough times, your dream looks impossible. Every voice says it's never going to happen. Just remember. Go back and replay your victories. Relive the times God made a way. Remember how He put you at the right place and you met that person and fell in love. Remember how He spared your life from that accident. Remember how the medical report said you shouldn't be here, but here you are alive, strong and healthy. On a regular basis, we should go back over the major victories in our life. Remember the day your children were born. That was a great miracle. Remember how God gave you that job, how He protected you, how you met the right person. Develop this habit of remembering what God has done. You may be in a difficult time. Don't get discouraged. Just remember the Red Seas God's parted in your life. How He snatched you out of that harmful situation. How He closed that door that would have been a big mistake. How He blessed you with that position. Announce to that depression, fear, anxiety, you're not going to finish me off. God promised, I will finish my course with joy. Or that person at the office is trying to push you down, make you look bad. Don't get discouraged. They don't control your destiny. They can't stop God's plan for your life. When those negative thoughts come telling you this sickness is going to sink you, this legal problem, this depression, it's going to be the end, just answer back. You don't realize who you're dealing with. Well, you say, Joel, this sounds good today. It's encouraging, but I've had a lot of bad breaks, gone through a lot of disappointments. I didn't get the promotion I worked hard for. This person walked out in my life. Here's the problem. You're remembering the wrong things. I can't find one place in the scripture where we're supposed to remember our defeats, remember our failures, remember our bad breaks. Well, this company laid me off 27 years ago. It wasn't right. Can I tell you respectfully, it's time to get over it, quit thinking about it. All of you can look back and see times where God did something unusual. Maybe you shouldn't be living in that house that you're in. You didn't have the funds, but things fell into place. You know it was the hand of God That's mountable. Perhaps you struggled with an addiction. You were off course, but today you're healthy, you're clean, you're free, you're being a blessing to others. You are a living testimony. Has God done anything good for you in the last 27 years? Have you seen one promotion, one healing, one sign of His favor? If you will start remembering your victories, the times God healed you, the times He promoted you, the times He stopped the accident, the times He turned the problem around, when you're remembering the right things, you're going to move forward in faith. You'll see more of God's favor. You don't have to go look for a miracle. You are a miracle. When you need to be encouraged, just go look at yourself in the mirror. You shouldn't be where you are. Perhaps you should still be struggling, addicted, angry, depressed, lonely. But God in His mercy showed up and said, I don't think so. Letting your circumstances, a medical report, a financial situation cause you to live worried, stressed out. Why don't you start considering your miracles? Look back over your life. Remember that time God showed up and suddenly turned it around. We all have things that come against us. It's easy to live uptight, wondering how it's going to work out. What if the medical report isn't good? What if my finances don't get better? What if my child doesn't get accepted in that school? We tried to figure it out. We've done our best, but we don't see anything changing. If we're not careful, we'll live worried, discouraged, not expecting it to get better. But there's a simple phrase you have to keep down in your spirit. God's got this. He's on the throne. He sees what's happening. He already has the solution. You don't have to figure it out. There may not be a logical answer. In the natural, you don't see a way. That's okay. We serve a supernatural God. He has ways to do it we've never thought of. And instead of trying to force it to happen, living uptight, you have to let go and let God. When you turn it over to Him and say, God, I know you've got this. I know you're in control. Not only will you feel the heaviness, the weight lift off of you, but God will make things happen that you couldn't make happen. And some of the things that are frustrating you now, causing you to lose sleep, that would all change if you would have this new perspective that God's got this. Sometimes we're trying to play God. We're trying to make our boss promote us, make ourselves get well, and make the contract go through. But as long as we're trying to force it, living frustrated, worried, then God steps back. But when you take your hands off and say, God, I know you've got this. I'm not going to worry about my finances. I'm not going to live uptight because of the medical report. I'm not going to be frustrated because I haven't met the right person. God, I trust your timing and I trust your ways. My life is in your hands. God never promised that we wouldn't have difficulties, but He did promise He would give us strength for every battle. He would take what was meant for harm and use to our advantage. You may have a good reason to worry about something. In your health, your finances, a dream. You've done everything you can. Doesn't look like it's going to work out. Stay in faith. God is saying, I've got this. I'm working behind the scenes. I'm in the process of turning it around. It's just a matter of time before you see things change in your favor.